guys, Billy and I are here at Oryx now, and what a wonderful place this is. Just absolutely beautiful. It would remind you a lot of an American desert like Arizona or something like that, but it's fantastic. And we're about to go to the range, and Billy's going to start hammering on these guys the best he can. And so, what's your report?
I absolutely just love it out here. This is wild country. And there's so few places left in the world where you have that feeling that you're in the wild with wild animals in a big open space.
And we weren't even to the lodge yet. We saw two rhinos. So I'm sure it was happenstance, but I was like, wow, that's what we're here for, and there they are. So
yeah.
But as you guys can see, it's just absolutely magnificent here. And so what we're going to do now is we're going to go get some training. Provide some training for the guys as best we can, as best they can accept and as best we can give, and try to make them safer and more competent with the firearms and stuff like that, and that stuff.
The things we do.
The things we do. So we'll see you guys at the range.
What happens if we press the trigger and nothing happens? What do we do? Magazine, run the action, right? Well, if you're very close and you're shooting nothing, we let go of our rifle, we grab our pistol, and then this holds the gun out of the way. Because we're a smaller target, and now we can use our body to be more accurate, right? Having your arm on your here is stronger than trying to hold it. Right? And so kneeling, we can kneel low like this. We can do 2 knees, which you don't have any support, but you're small. Right? So I prefer this. And if you can't sit so far down, maybe you shoot like this, a little away. So you have to see which one you can do.
There's a lot going on there. Like there's the structure of the team. As far as the team leader and the other guys, and once you get into the different groups of people that we were there and the languages and
my goodness, so the chief of security is a veteran who is also a retired police officer, 30 years, and he was in a task force in which he did investigations on farm murders and wildlife poaching. So he's an expert tracker and has a tremendous understanding of the history of poaching and farm crimes and crimes in rural areas. And they don't have a lot of technology that we have, so they rely on human skill. And he told us about different crime scenes he'd come to see a footprint, track those footprints for like 15 miles through the bush, and then be able to figure out who it was, matching sole prints to footprints, in different places. And he had a lot of experience and I think thought about security in a good way.
Yeah. And then the live fire training on the range, they had a makeshift range that was perfectly serviceable.
They put conveyor belts over shipping pallets, and that had hinged 2x4s to hold it up, and it worked totally good. And then they were able to get what was essentially IDPA targets as our target. So I thought we were going to be shooting at like 8x11 pieces of paper, but they were able to get like a real good target. And it's a little bit involved for them to get them, but they got it and they took the training really seriously.
Yeah, and so it was not that indifferent than training any people or any place I've ever trained before. People not understanding some of the instructions or not being exactly clear on the course that they're about to shoot or what the commands were or whatever. So it was really pretty comical to see people teaching on another continent in another country and seeing people have the same problems they have in Camden or anywhere else.
And we were in 3 languages.
Yeah.
So we put the guys who spoke the best English on my side of the line. Then we put the guys who were much stronger in Afrikaans on the other side of the line, and the chief of security translated. But then they would like talk to each other in Zulu or some of the other tribal languages. And then one of the other guys spoke Portuguese. So we had all manner of communication on this line. And not for nothing, we went from having, not the best to everybody was lethal inside 100 meters at a good speed, and much more confident in their weapon. Malfunction clearances, night shooting on the move at night. Many of them had never fired their rifle at night, even though
many had never shot on the move before.
So we did a lot of pieces that were new, and of course when we would get, and this is true everywhere you go, right? If you go to a police department and you're like, oh, I'm going to get the guys to do this, this, and this, the chief's going to be like, whoa,
my guys can't do that.
Yeah, the chief training officer, whoa, that's dangerous. I don't know about that. And we got a little bit of that from the leadership over there, but these guys are great. They were very open-minded. They trusted us, and I think we very much exceeded their expectations and kind of set new limits for what they see that their guys are capable of.
And again, just kind of reminiscing about the similarities. One of the guys said, "But if I turn my light on, won't they shoot at me?" So,
how many times have we heard that in a class, right? Yeah, they're not dumb, that's for sure.
No, they ask the right questions, just like everybody else. They ask the right questions, and we had just a ton of fun with those guys. I mean, Billy's kind of mantra is you got to get dirty with the troops. Like get in there with them. Get the same dirt on your boots they have on their boots, and Billy certainly did that with his crew. I was mostly the cameraman, and Billy really, like, after they started kind of figuring out who Billy was and he was about getting his boots dirty, they started really respecting him and they would just laugh. I mean, like as everybody would. Billy's funny, but they just the way he connected with these guys was fantastic. And
part of this involved eating raw liver out of an animal that I had just shot. Like, and we have a picture, and one of the scouts is like this.
They were all like that. That's the only one in the picture.
That's true. That's very true. But hey, you got to prove yourself out here, and just like anywhere else, respect is earned, second by second, day by day. And if they're doing something, you got to do it. And one of the awesome parts about Oryx is that we rolled in, and we rolled in hot. We literally drove from the airport to the range, grabbed our range gear, muffs on, let's roll. And then we got to spend some time in the field with them, and we said, now we're your students, and they taught us about tracking and animals and different things, and anytime you can learn and exchange, it always is better. You get to know each other better, and being able to do all of that on one place, I thought was a huge success.
Yeah, the purpose of training is to make people better, and Billy made those guys better, and we're looking forward to our next trip. And if you guys want to help us with that, we'll let you know at the end of the series. We'll let you know what you can do to help. But there's more to be done here, and we want to help. And we want you to help. If you want to come and volunteer your time, if you want to throw a couple of bucks at it, there's stuff to be done, and that information will be made available to you.
Hope to see you guys. Hope to see you guys in the action on a place that ain't for sissies.